Hey everybody, welcome back to the brand new video. Today, we are going back to the year 1990, and we're going to open up this box of 1990 Topps. One of my favorite years. This is only my second year that I was collecting cards. Got really big into it in 89 and continued on in 1990. And the card we're looking for is Ryne Sandberg. Sandberg, yesterday, sadly passed away at the age of 65. Former most valuable player, Hall of Famer, former manager, and man, just also my first book guy. For me personally, I used to collect Ryne Sandberg. He was the first player that I ever had a binder for and collected his cards. Andy Van Slyke was the first one I ever collected, but I wasn't all that organized. I just had them in a little stack somewhere. But Sandberg was the first one I ever got really into, and all organized with the binder pages. And that was in 1990. I remember getting my first ever Beckett. I think it was August of 1990. Ryne Sandberg was on the cover, and then I collected him for probably the next year. So kind of sad. I mean, definitely sad that another Hall of Famer, another guy that we watched and collected and looked up to as kids, has passed. So thoughts and prayers to his family. And now we're going to go ahead and check out this box of 1990 Topps. We're looking for Ryne Sandberg cards. But we're also going to keep an eye out for Frank Thomas's. Frank Thomas, no name on front, is the big card. We're going to be going out to the National soon, so I'll be looking for that card there. I do not think that I'm going to buy one. I mean, they go for so much money. But if I see one, I will definitely film it for you and put it in a video. I'm also currently doing some research to put my list together, my wish list of what I want at the National. So here you have it. It's a box of 1990 Topps. It's been a while since we opened one of these. I picked up this box for $20, probably about 5 years ago or so, out at, I think it was Triple Play Vintage out in Ohio, Cuyahoga Falls. Nowadays, these boxes are much, much more. Probably $50, $60, $70, maybe $90. I don't even know. But I do know they're so much more. And you can see right on the cover of the box right there, there's Ryne Sandberg. I was trying to think of what box I should open to kind of, as a little tribute to Ryne Sandberg and his passing. And I've got a bunch of different boxes in my wax collection, but I do not have any 1983 boxes laying around to find his rookie card. So I figured this would be the next best thing, because you got the Sandman right there, Sandberg on the cover of the box, on the side of the box at the very least. So let's go ahead and get into this. Thank you very, very much for joining us. Let's go ahead and see what we can find. Time to rip some old vintage. I guess, people call this vintage now. It's kind of tough to think about that. For me, vintage is always going to be stuff from this, 60s and earlier, because that's what vintage was when I was growing up. Man, this gum almost seems good enough to try. It looks good. I might try a piece before this video is over. So let's see what we can find in here. We're going to be looking for decent cards. There's Curt Schilling's first Topps card, and right behind him, just like that, we get the Frank Thomas rookie card right there. That is fantastic. I just picked up a bunch of card savers. I'm working on sending a bunch of cards in to be graded for the very first time. I'd like a Frank Thomas PSA 10. I don't know if that'll get a 10 or not, but I might try it out. I might send it in. I might send a bunch of them in. Maybe keep some of them for the PC, and then maybe finally launch that Jab Slabs repack product that I've been talking about since, 2018, 19, something like that. Here's our next pack. On this Tuesday, we got Joe McGrain. He had like a 2.18 ERA that year, his career year. There's Jim Abbott. He's on the cover of the box. Paul Coleman, one of those random draft picks that never made it to the big leagues. We got good old Bill Landrum right there. I remember people used to send me that card all the time, that and Bob Kipper and Rafael Belliards, and ask for like Aaron Judge rookies and Ohtani rookies back in the day when we would do the old Fan Mail Fridays. I don't know how it morphed into people sending me cards and making requests like I'm Santa Claus, but I have a bunch of those in a stack, just random junk wax Pirates cards. If we find a Ryne Sandberg card, I will eat a piece of gum. How about that? That's the deal. There's Craig Biggio right there. Hall of Famer Biggio. I'll take out the Hall of Famers and the very notable cards like that Curt Schilling. Bernie Williams rookie card. Notable. Bert Blyleven. He's a Hall of Famer. Edgar Martinez. It's a good pack. Lots of Hall of Famers right there. Another one. What a fantastic pack. Carlton Fisk. And good old Jack Armstrong. Next one up. Well, at least we know the box not resealed. There's a Frank Thomas in there. By resealed, I mean the pack's all searched. We've seen that happen a good many times. Opening stuff from the 90s. There's Sid Bream. I like Sid Bream. I know a lot of people hate him from Pittsburgh just because of the whole 1992 NLCS. But I like Sid Bream. He was the first ever through the mail. I don't know how or why I decided to do it, but I wrote Sid Bream a letter and he sent me an autographed postcard back with a little note. He didn't have to do that. All right, here's the next one. Herman Gonzalez. There's Tony Phillips. Mark Lemke right there. I always hated Pascual Perez. I don't know why. There's probably a whole bunch. I could probably pick out about 30 guys or more that I hated. Rafael Belliard was one of them. I think I hated every single Pirate that wasn't a starter, to tell you the truth. If they weren't a starter for the Pirates, I just despised them. It's kind of weird. But that's the, I would have been 9 years old when this came out. That's the 9-year-old me, I guess. This piece of gum falls right off. Pretty nice that the gum is just coming right off, not having any issues with standing of the cards. There's Big Mac, Mark McGuire, 1990 tops. And then Zane Smith right there. I'll have to save that one and give that to my brother. The biggest Zane Smith fan ever. There's Edgar Martinez again. I'm just teasing. We both hated Zane Smith. Another Carlton Fisk because we're getting some repeats now. Come on, we got to get a Sandberg here. Let's try from a different stack. I would like to get a couple Frank Thomases. That would be nice. Maybe a few Frank Thomas cards. We got Robin Ventura on the back. And let's see what else we can do here. Robin Ventura, Mike Devereaux, another Jack Armstrong. Randy Kramer for like the third freaking time. What's up with that? Man, having some bad luck so far. There's two Ryne Sandberg cards in this release. You have his base card, and you also have his all-star card. We're looking for both of them. We'll see if we can get one. We've got, I think Ricky's coming up. There he is. Ricky Henderson, another one that passed away way too young. Ricky Henderson right there. Passed away about a year ago. Earl Hershiser. Maybe a little less than a year ago. There's your 1990 National League Most Valuable Player. Barry Bonds won it. He had like a 9.7 WAR that year. Sandberg came in fourth with his 40 home runs, but that's a nice card right there. Barry Bonds, 1990 tops. I like it. Get that one sleeved up. Move on to the next one. Let's see what else we can do. Still looking for Sandberg. We're getting these all-star cards. We haven't uncovered a Ryne Sandberg just yet. Still looking for him. There's Jeff Jackson. I think he actually signs through the mail. There he is, Andy Van Slyke. I've started a project. I'll have to tell you a little bit more about it another time, but I'm starting to try to find all of my 89 tops Andy Van Slyke cards, and I'm trying to get as many as I possibly can. That was the card that started it all for me. When I found an Andy Van Slyke card, I became addicted to cards in 1989. Randy Kramer for like the fourth time? What is up with that? I'm sick of seeing that card. Randy Kramer's all over the place. We might not get a Sandberg, but we might get about 45 Randy Kramers. And next box up, we've got the Juan Gonzalez rookie card on the way. I would like to see some more Frank Thomas's. Juan Gonzalez right there. Notable rookie. We'll get that one sleeved up. David Cohn right there and Davey Johnson. Here comes our next one. When I go to the National, I'm always looking for a good Throwback Thursday. I will probably avoid the big mistake that I made last year. I bought 3 really old boxes. There's Robin Yount, Hall of Famer right there. 1978, 1979, 1980. And I paid a lot of money for them. I can't remember, but I do know it was in 5 digits. I don't know, 12 grand or something like that. And I could not sell them. They just would not sell. It took forever. Like, we're talking months for those breaks to sell out. Just people were not as interested as they were with 78, 79, and 80 during the COVID era. So we eventually sold them out. But I'll probably not be bringing back a bunch of sealed wax this year. I do have some plans of things I'd like to find. I'm going to be looking for singles cards, and then if I see something nice, I will grab it. Nice box that I want to open, a set or something like that, I might grab that. There's Ozzie Smith. Come on. Ryne Sandberg, where are you? Please, come on out. Frank Tanana right there. I think we used to call him, one of us, either me or my brother, used to call him Frank Tunafish. There's our first Nolan Ryan of the video, which is rather surprising because there's multiple 5,000 strikeout cards, one in every uniform that he played for. So first time seeing that one. Got the Harold Baines right there. This is my hit stack, by the way. I'll sleeve them all up later. If I sleeve them now, it would kind of slow the flow down just a little bit. So I've got a common stack. I've got a big old stack there as well for the hits. Here comes my brother's favorite player. No joke. Jose Lean was my brother's #1 favorite player when we were growing up. Mine was Andy Van Slyke, and then moved into Bobby Bowe and Barry Bonds, and my brother always really liked Jose Lean. A really great fielder. All right, find a Ryne Sandberg, and I'm taking a bite of that gum. Watch it be in the last pack, and the last pack will be like all gross and messed up. There's Will the Thrill Clark. It's a notable card. He's not a Hall of Famer, but it's a pretty decent one. And I used to really like this card as a kid. Stan Belinda. My mom used to always point out when we would drive through his hometown of Port Matilda. So I always felt like, kind of connected in some way. Like, man, Stan Belinda lives here. I'm like practically driving by his house. So that was always a cool card as a kid. It's Gary Pettis. On to our next box, or next pack. Still lots of cards to see. Still looking for Ryne Sandberg. Still looking for Greg Maddux, the A. Bartlett Giamatti. More Nolan Ryans will be on the way. There's the Nolan Ryan in his Texas Rangers uniform, doffing the cap. Probably after his 5,000th strikeout. What a great milestone. Only pitcher to ever do it. And very cool of Topps to give him a special part of the set. Those were almost like insert sets back in the day. There's Rock Reigns. So you had one card made from Nolan Ryan in every team he played for, from the Mets to the Angels to the Astros to the Rangers. Got the old little binder right there. Wonder if any of you guys still have that binder. I never did any of those mail-in propaganda pieces. Never actually had the chance to do that. The only time I ever participated, there's George Brett, who looks really mad. Like somebody just brought up the Pine Tar incident to him, and he's just really mad about it. I like that card, though. George Brett, Hall of Famer. The only time I ever did anything where I sent something in was, I think it was 95 Score. It was the Rapper Redemption Program, where you sent in some wrappers, and then I think you may have sent some money for shipping, and then they would send you a set of cards. I think that's the only time I ever did it. I never entered any of these, win a trip to spring training or anything like that. Next pack up, let's see what we can find. Matt Williams, I'll count him as notable. Not a Hall of Famer. There's Ozzie Smith, but I'll put him in the, that's kind of like the star pile too. Like Bo Jackson, definitely need to get this one sleeved up. Nice bow right there. Tom Lawless. They really missed the boat with Tom Lawless. They should have made a card of his epic bat flip. And there's Chris Sabo, who we both hated with a passion, my brother and I, and also all of our friends. Next one up, still looking for the Sandberg here. Man, I didn't think it would be this difficult. Found the Frank Thomas, the big hit of the box in the very first pack. I just wanted to find a Sandberg here as a tribute video to him. There's Greg Jeffries' Future Star card. Kirby Puckett right there. Also, my glove that I still have to this day. I got the glove in 1992. Randy Johnson. It's a Ryne Sandberg model Rawlings glove. And I literally still have it to this day. In fact, at Paul Skeen's bobblehead day, I caught a Carlos Santana ball in the outfield and center field with that same glove. It is completely destroyed. If you saw it, you'd be like, you're going to break your hand using that glove. It's so worn out. I still use it to this day. I've got a couple other gloves that I've received as gifts along the way, but they're just not broken in. And I just feel most comfortable with my original Sandberg glove. I'll have to show it off to you sometime. It's really, really bad. There's Jim Rice. I think I actually sent it in for restoration. There's Fred McGriff. There used to be a site called mitfix.com. I don't know if they're still around. But they would restore gloves. And they restored it once, maybe about, 15, 20 years ago. And then they could not restore it a second time. They're like, we can't save this one. Nothing we can do here. Paul Mulder on the backside with the Gary Sheffield. Oh, boy, we might not get a Ryne Sandberg here. I'm starting to get worried about that. I guess, at the very least, I won't have to eat a disgusting piece of gum. There's Charlie Hayes. That's Ke'Bryan Hayes' father. Charlie was a better hitter than Ke'Bryan Hayes, that's for sure. Todd Zeal, future star. That was a big card, so I'll put it in the notable pile. I'll also put Omar Vizquel and Eddie Murray in the notable pile, even though Vizquel's kind of a dastardly human being. Would have been in the Hall of Fame by now if not for some off-the-field issues. And then we've got Tony Gwynn. Great card right there. Love Tony Gwynn. That's a card I should put on my list. Tony Gwynn rookie in a PSA high grade, like a 9 or something like that. Smoltzy on the back. Another Hall of Famer, a second-year card. John Smoltz on the way. Marquise Grissom. I used to like Marquise Grissom back in the day. He was one of my top 10 favorite players for a little while. I liked the speed that he brought to the table. But then I was like, wait a minute, he kind of sucks. I don't like him. I never liked Walt Weiss. I never really knew where Al Newman was in the dugout. Like I guess that's the dugout, but that just looked like it was some kind of weird prop background. I never really could wrap my head around that card as a kid, where that was even at. All red background. All right, here we go. Champing at the bit to eat one of these pieces of gum. All we got to do is find Ryno. We've got Roberto Alomar right there, Hall of Famer. Steve Sachs. I remember also as a kid, I was real mad that Kevin Moss wasn't available in this set. I think 1990 may have been the year that Moss was going off. Mike Schmidt, Hall of Famer. Turned back the clock to 1980. And when I was a kid, I used to hate these cards too. I used to feel like they were the same as manager cards, which I don't understand because now looking back on it, those are actually pretty cool. Let's turn back the clock cards. Still not a fan of manager cards, even less of a fan of checklists. They could have just as easily, instead of putting this crap in here, they could have just as easily, like, I don't know, maybe put all this information and the order form on one side of these and then had the back side for a checklist. You know, they could have done that instead of stealing a card away from our 15 cards in the pack. Not that it's a big deal. I mean, back then, these cards were 50 cents a pack. So you were only paying like, what, 4 cents a card or something like that? Maybe not even, like 3-point-something cents a card. That's crazy. There was 16 cards per pack in 1990. 50 cents a pack. Yeah, about 3 cents a card. You know what you pay nowadays at Topps Chrome if you buy a pack of those at the store? You're paying about $4 per card with 2025 Chrome Hobby. There's Ben McDonald. That is a very notable card. Roger Clemens right there. Yeah, we know all about inflation, but that's a little hyperinflation right there from 3 cents a card to $3 a card or whatever. There's Fred McGriff, Hall of Famer. Cal Ripken Jr. We're going in the right direction now. I collected Cal for many years as a kid. Whitey Herzog's a Hall of Famer. So we got a nice stack of hits here. I'm most stoked about the Frank Thomas. Put that in my to-be-graded stack. I just got all my semi-rigid card holders in the mail today, so I can start getting these ready to go and processed. It'll actually be my first order that I've ever sent out. I usually just buy the card that I want already graded. because I'm always too nervous. If I send them in, I'm going to get like a freaking PSA 6 and then just be really upset. Vince Coleman. Gene Nelson. I used to hate Scott Scudder, too. I don't know why. I think he always made a weird face. But nobody made a worse face than Kevin Appier. Did you ever see the Kevin Appier face? Pitcher for the Kansas City Royals. It's like every card they try to show off the Kevin Appier face. He's like a big puffer fish when he pitches. It's ridiculous. I don't know if he's got the Kevin Appier face going on his card here. There's the 8 Bartlett Giamatti card. So that was always a cool card, too, as a kid. It was like getting it was almost like the same feeling of getting an autograph. Like you got something rare. When really it wasn't any more rare than any other card in there because it's just a base. All the cards in 1990 Topps, all base cards, no inserts. The best you can do for inserts is, I guess, buy a rack pack and get the glossy. There's a glossy All-Star card in the rack packs. Ron Karkovice, who always looked about 20 years older than he was. Eric Davis and Todd Burns. And we are down to about just a quarter of the box left. Ripping through this whole box, trying to find a Sandberg. Is this going to be it? It's Eric Davis. Wrong All-Star right there. So many Randy Kramers early, ruining our chances of finding Sandberg. But there's still hope. We still have about 9 packs left or so to find him. I'm also hopeful that maybe we'll get a Frank Thomas again. It's not going to be a no name on front, though, because we already saw the Thomas. It's the name on front version, meaning that it's been corrected in this box. Cal Ripken Jr. All-Star card. That's pretty sick. I would have liked that card a lot as a kid. Kurt Young, and there it is. Cal Ripken Jr. I actually met him. You probably saw the video. Met him back in February down in Houston, Texas. We went down to the TriStar show. Good old time down there. And it's time to travel again for another card show, going to the National. And some of this gum looks a little suspect now. I'm starting to see some brown dots on it. Maybe Sandberg's going to keep me safe from up above and not let me eat one of these. There's Deion Sanders. Man, Deion Sanders announcing that he's been battling cancer as well, I think, right? So Sandberg was, I think he had, what was it, prostate cancer or something? And he was announced as cancer-free, and then it came back in December, and it spread. It's just so terrible. Carlton Fisk right there as well. And now we are down to our last 7 packs. There are literally 2 Ryne Sandberg cards in this set. I am shocked that we have not found one yet. The All-Star card, there's Nolan Ryan in his Astros uniform. Curtis Wilkerson right there. Dennis Cook, one of the wacky cards, 1993 Upper Deck. He's making a crazy face on the back of that one. Eric Davis and Jeff Robinson. And here we go. Next one. Another George Brett. Look at all of this bubblegum, by the way. Man, it's about to spill out. About 32 pieces right there. There's Johnny Bench. Turn back the clock to 1970. Wonder why they picked 1970. Wouldn't go back to his rookie card year. Maybe that would have been a little bit of a cooler of an insert set or subset if they would have done their rookies. Another George Brett, number 2 of George Brett. 5 packs remain. We got Bobby Bo on the back. Bobby Bonilla was also one of my favorite players. He came in second in the most valuable player vote of 1990 behind Barry Bonds. There's Wade Boggs with some chippiness going on there. A little bit of chipping on the corner of that card. That's unfortunate. Tom Glavine, 300-game winner and Hall of Famer right there. Another Bo Jackson. We'll take a Bo. Jeff King rookie card. I used to like that one as a kid. There we go. Alan Trammell. We just pulled his autograph this week. I think it was out of... Was it? No, it was actually out of Allen and Ginter. It was a mini from Allen and Ginter. And there's Bobby Bo pointing his bat at someone, telling them how it is. And now we're down to just 4 packs left. Bobby Bo still gets $1.2 million every July 1st from the Mets. What a smart man. He deferred just a little bit of money, maybe like, I don't know, $5 million, and turned it into 30 or 40 million, something like that. Another draft pick card coming up. It's going to be Earl Cunningham, another no-name that never would make it to the big leagues. Brian Fisher, Paul O'Neill, and we're down to 3 packs. There's 2 Sandberg cards in the set, and we do not have a single Ryne Sandberg card. 2 packs remain. Well, I'll have to make it a point at the National, if we don't find them, to get out there and get a box of 83. 83 Topps, Fleer, or Donruss, so we can chase after his rookie card if we can't find them. J. Bell right there. And Harold Reynolds. We're down to just 2 packs left in this box. I'll probably sell all these cards on Whatnot tomorrow. We'll be live tomorrow on Whatnot as usual. I'm going to try to start a little bit earlier in conjunction with the opening of the National, around maybe 4 p.m. or so. So come on by. We already listed a bunch of breaks, a bunch of Chrome Pick Your Team breaks. Cal Ripken Jr. record breaker. I used to love this card as a kid. That's a great card right there. Wade Boggs, Jerome Walton with the Gold Cup. That was another great card back then. I'll give you the information that you need. It's the wrong Cubs player right there for our Whatnot stream. We got 1 pack left. So come on by tomorrow from 4 to, I don't know, maybe we'll end a little bit earlier since we're starting earlier, 4 to 10 or whatever. We're doing breaks with Chrome and everything else. $15 for free right here. If you go to the description of this video, you can also find this link right there to click on to sign up. Also, you'll find the link to the show tomorrow. You can go and pick up some teams in the Pick Your Team rounds right now. We'll do random team rounds with the wheel where you win a listing and then you get a spin, and whatever team it lands on, that's who you get. All card ship too. Every single base card. Doesn't matter if it's a 2-cent card or a $2,000 card. Literally every single card will ship to you. And had, I think, 3 people use this code to sign up today. Some people getting some funds for the National together, I guess. If you want to go live and make your own sales, use this link right here. This is the link to become a seller, but use the Jabs family code, because when you do, you'll get up to $150 back for free in matching funds. So whatever you sell during the first week, Whatnot will match up to $150. So use that code. Go try it out on Whatnot, and if you let me know that you did use my code, when I finish up one of my Whatnot streams, I will raid you, send all my followers your way. Basically, my room ends, and then everyone in that room gets sucked into a vortex and transported directly into your room. It's pretty cool. It's called a raid. Alrighty, here we go. Very last pack. Keep seeing all these Cubs, but no Sandberg. Down to the last couple cards here. All I want is 1 Ryne Sandberg card. And the last card, I guess somewhat fittingly, is former Cubs manager Don Zimmer. It is a Cubs card, but not a Sandberg. So unfortunately, we did not get a Sandberg, or surprisingly enough, also did not find the All-Star card. There's the base card right there, literally on the side of the box. But did not find that one, did not find the All-Star card. There's the box bottoms, which is pretty cool. The Ricky Henderson on there. Doc Gooden, Fred Lynn, and Tommy Lasorda. But yeah, really, really sad to hear about Ryne Sandberg passing. Another one of our heroes from our youth, no longer with us. So thank you very, very much for watching. Because we did not find a Ryne Sandberg, I'm off the hook for eating a piece of gum. But I'm going to be on the hook and looking for maybe something from 1983 where we can go and hunt down some Sandberg, Gwynn, and Wade Boggs rookie cards. And also maybe I'll be looking out for one of my favorite Sandberg cards ever, 1984 Donruss. So I'll be looking for that too. So thank you very much for watching. Join us on Whatnot tomorrow for our breaks. Have a fantastic rest of your evening. Rest in peace, Ryne Sandberg. And we'll see you all later. Good night, everybody.